I'm just going to start acting like I'm pretty.
Chad's on his Walmart Wi-Fi internet again. Can we say Walmart Wi-Fi? Because do I have to pay them credits or royalties for anything? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Gramps Live here on Wednesday night. Tonight, we got Duke Wescamp from Ketch Products. We're going to talk about all kinds of cool stuff. But before we do, you know I can't go a week, a show, anything without talking about the hashtag Catch22 Challenge and the Knucklehead Bass Fishing Series. So tonight, we got Mr. Hoover back from his trip to Florida. Huge success down there with the Temptation. We all had a blast watching everything going on down there. I was getting tortured with pictures of big bass and frogs in their throats. Just, yeah, it never ends. But you know how it goes. And he's gonna pull up the picture too. So there's nothing like making a new friend. One friend named Chad Hoover. And once he has your phone number, I can't sit at work for more than 5 minutes without getting a picture of a 5, 6, 7, 8 pound.
Nothing like sending big fish pictures to your Yankee friends who are frozen in.
Yeah, you know so yeah, everybody up north, we're just sitting up here, you know, not doing much of nothing for another couple of weeks, but we're getting closer. So anyway, tonight again, we wanted to talk to Catch 22 Challenge. Chad, how many anglers did we have in the challenge so far? We're at what, February 15th?
Yeah, man, we're just past Valentine's Day, and last year we had 452 total entries, and we caught 23,000 or 22,000 fish. We're not halfway through. We're just now halfway through February, and we got 299 people. Now, I just gave away 10 $50 gift cards from the folks at Fish USA. So I've been texting winners those all day long. Fish USA just sent me a whole new batch of them in for the Catch 22 Challenge. And so we're going to ratchet that up. But the anglers have not been that active on social. So what I need you knuckleheads to do is to post up your pictures, that hashtag Catch22. If you haven't gotten your dog tags in yet, just screenshot your picture of your biggest fish or a fish you caught or your smallest fish or whatever, and just post up that hashtag Catch22 Challenge. Helps us spread the word. But one thing that I wanted to announce on your show is that we already have another Old Town to give away this year. Now, the one thing that I'm going to do the same as last year with the Old Town is I got the Mark 106 this time. The Sportsman 106, and it's got the little throttle style motor. I
actually want one of those.
I gave away the autopilot after taking a veteran fishing that I actually controlled the boat all day. And so I'm going to end up ordering another autopilot out of the entry fees instead of trying to go back to the well and ask Old Town to give me yet another boat because they've really been good to me so far. But tomorrow I'm actually picking up a boat at Jackson Kayak, and it's a Blue Sky Boat Works Angler 360, and I'm taking it to that knucklehead right there, and we're going to outfit the boat to where the angler that is in a wheelchair can actually roll onto the boat, lock the wheelchair in place, and then take the boat fishing by using the remote control and the trolling motor with the remote control to drive the boat. We're going to outfit it with power poles. Basically, we're going to set this thing up where we can take a veteran out who's in a wheelchair and either control the boat for them and help them catch fish, or they can control the boat themselves. And, you know, we have an angler in mind that is wheelchair bound, that has volunteered to help us with the development. So once Duke and the team up there get through that first phase of development, I'm going to go back up or twist his arm to come down to Alabama. And then we're going to take the boat and put it through some prototype testing. And then we're going to start putting it into the fleet of the Heroes on the Water chapter here. The idea behind that is that I think we can actually have Duke develop a series of parts, and then we could get one of those boats to every chapter out there, and we could buy the parts at cost or something like that because Duke's that kind of guy. And we can outfit those boats to where, you know, we can have numerous boats around the country where folks that, you know, that are you know, unfortunately can't use their lower limbs or can't necessarily get down into a kayak can still get out there and enjoy the sport that we all love. So because of that, and because Jackson Kayak stepped up big time to give us that Blue Sky Boat Works to help us, get into the that first line of development, and it really is one of the few platforms out there that I think we could truly adapt. This isn't a brand versus brand thing. This is how awesome this community is that every kayak manufacturer that I mentioned this to is like anything that we could do to help get more veterans and first responders or homeland heroes on the water, we're in. And so I asked them if I could buy a Coosa X to give away. And they said yes. Well, they gave me a red, white, and blue Coosa X to do that initial review with. And I think that's just a little bit more fitting to go with the Catch 22 challenge. So what we're going to do is we're going to deck that thing out. I'm going to twist Duke's arm to put some juice on it. And I'm going to get some other sponsors to kick some gear off. But I'm going to go ahead and announce this like on your show. I haven't posted this anywhere. Haven't talked about it anywhere. I just actually showed you a sneak peek of it, an hour before we went live. But what we're going to do is you're going to be able to win that kayak, not like one like it, but win that actual kayak. So what we're going to do, and that's a red, white, and blue, like a Spider-Man color Coosa X. And if you haven't done so yet, go check out my 2 review videos of the Coosa X. I got about 3 more videos I need to do with it. I'll baby it as best I can because you're actually going to win that boat. You're going to win that boat, and every boat that I give away comes with a free guided trip to come down here and fish with me in Alabama. But it also means you got to bring your butt down here and pick it up in Alabama. So we'll just go ahead and announce it now. We're going to give this boat away. We're going to give it away March 31st. So that way we're giving away at least one kayak every quarter instead of waiting until the end of the year like we did last year, or when we hit 500 entries in the Catch 22 challenge. So if we hit 500 entries in the Catch 22 challenge, I'm going to give the boat away that day from everybody that's entered the challenge. And then if you've caught your 22 fish, then you'll get the accessory pack that goes with it. So all you have to do is enter. So for you guys that are frozen in, they go, man, I'm going to have hard water for the next 2 months. It's going for a great cause. It's going to be fun. You got a chance to win a kayak. And again, we're going to start using 50% of the entry fees to buy prizes to put back into the game. So I talked to Jackson and they said they would sell me another Coosa. So I'm going to give that one away, order the other one that's camo. So it kind of matches my color scheme for everything that I'm doing. And then at the end of the year, I'll give that one away. So we'll end up giving away 2 Coosa X's. I'm going to go ahead and put that one up 500 entries or March 31st, whichever comes first. And if you happen to have caught your 22 fish and you win, because again, we're randomized drawing it from everybody that's entered. Fishing Chaos has a really cool system on the back end where you could just do the random draw from everybody that's in a specific event. So I did that for the gift cards earlier today. It's freaking cool. It's easy. It's clean. And then if you've caught your 22 fish, then I'm going to add a Yak Attack prize pack to it and some other goodies. But that'll probably be around, I'd say $750 to $1,000 worth of extra stuff if you have caught your 22 fish and you win that drawing. And again, I'm drawing from everybody, so it's not like I'm going to look.
So keep in mind, folks, if you got friends who fly fish or whatever, any kind of fishing, have them join the Any 22. That's another person in. So everybody that we get doing this, the more involved, the better chances we have of, getting more kayaks, bigger prizes. Because again, we're working to show the sponsors as we're raising money for charity in these great events by doing these fun events. You're getting prizes that a lot of pro anglers go out and fish a lot of tournaments and drive across the country to try to win stuff like this too. So for your $22 donation to, any of those, you're getting a great, opportunity.
That alone's an $1,800, prize package with that Coosa X. Said I'm going to add another one back to December drawing, and then we've got at least 3 other kayaks that we've already stepped up big time. I'm obviously going to put that through the paces, talk about it. The team up at Ketch has sent me some juicy teaser pictures of stuff they did with the unlimited. So I'm gonna get Duke to hook me up with that stuff so I can juice that prize package up. But all in all, the response has been amazing. I screwed up on processing the prizes for the Lawrences last year, but I emailed Lawrence last week that was like, "Hey, where are we at on this?" And they're like, "We don't have an order from you or anything." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So I resubmitted it today. I called everybody back, verified their address. Luckily, one guy had changed his address, got that done, and so those are being processed. Other than that, we've given away one of the boats. I'm meeting up with two of the anglers. I still have my fingers crossed that Bonafide or Moving Waters is going to come through, and I'll be able to give one of the guys a boat at the Indy Sports Show. If not, I'll have to wait until I can get it here, and he'll have to come down and pick it up like we promised. The Fish Ops Edition boat that I'm giving away, the angler reached out to me today and was like, "Hey, man, instead of you sending it to one of the tournaments or bringing it, why don't we just do it at the Ambassador Series Championship in March?" And I was like, "Dude, that is perfect." So just a whole bunch of really good will, going on out there. And I sent you a teaser of it. And so I'm going to give this knucklehead up here one more plug before I get out here and let you guys chat. But dude came up with a tag, and I'll brand it or marketed by somebody because I pride myself on being like a marketing guy. And so I had been calling things tag. I showed you guys one of them for the Veterans Day thing, JT, the little dog tag, trophy, if you will.
Right.
I'm catching some toads down in Florida, and I just get ding, I look down at the message from Duke, and he's like, "Hey, man, I don't know if you're gonna like it, but I think we could call it hog tags." And I was like, "Dude," but I had tied my brain to toad tags because it was like a play on toe tag, for like a body. And the toad trips too. But as soon as he said hog tags, I was like, "Yeah, that's
and
it.
When you
that's
guys,
what we're calling it." And
when you guys see the new hog tags, you're gonna flip because they, as good as the coin looks, the hog tags is right up there with it. It is something that you're gonna want to try to get.
yeah, and the concept that Duke came up with, where you mount it to the boat, you can mount it to, a plaque, you can mount it to your "I love me" wall,
Your black pack, whatever. I mean,
like a trophy, mount it to your black pack, create a board you can fill up with a bunch of, like, there's so much cool stuff about this thing that I think we're going to turn people's kayaks into the way Jeep guys do the trail rated things that go on the side of their Jeeps, or the way football players have the stickers all over the back of their helmet. So Jack Taylor's just signed up and hit number 300. Is that what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Well, Jack,
Sweet.
do me a favor.
Thank you, Jack.
Shoot me a text, because I had already decided if we hit 300 on JT's show tonight, that I was going to award that 300th person a $50 gift card. So shoot me a text, 757-348-2232. Again, that's 757-348-2232. And I'm going to give you a $50 gift card. So you literally just doubled your money right there. Thanks for the support. You guys are amazing. And JT, personally, man, from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you guys enough. You and the Freedom Squad and the whole group of knuckleheads that you attract to this sport are the whole reason that we're over halfway to our total goal for last year in the first month and a half, where most of the people that are entering are still fishing frozen water. You know what I'm saying? And I got stupid busy down in Florida. We ended up having 2 hard drives crash. So now we're having to have them go to one of them data recovery places. But as soon as I get all my photos, I will start uploading my stuff to the 22 channel, because I definitely caught more than 22, but I think I caught a pretty good catch 22 while I was down in Florida. And then as soon as I get back from Indianapolis, which, by the way, we might as well plug that. I'll be in Indianapolis tomorrow night, and I'll be there for like 10 days, except for the 3 days again that I'm going up here to see this guy. And we're gonna get in the lab. And if you guys haven't seen the custom catch parts and the stuff that's going out on the web yet, I mean, first and foremost, the stuff that's already out there is badass. But like, these dudes are going to be the Mopar of kayak fishing before it's all said and done, if they're not already. And like,
just wait. There's nothing ready for Chad's boat next week. You're going to see it all happen right before your very eyes. We're going to
actual definition of rapid prototyping. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
I already told him I wanted the cross mount for mounting my head units on. So he's already got that bit in. I've got a
I was videoing it. I was videoing stuff from the cockpit when I was on the water going, here's a product idea. Here's a product idea. And he's like, just wait till you get here, dude. We'll just make that shit while you're here. So it's like,
oh, that's what I'm saying. All right, brother. Well, I will see you Thursday night. And then for everybody that's in the Midwest area, we will be at the Indianapolis Boat and Motor Show. I saw somebody asking if Fluke Master was going to be live on Friday. Not sure. He's also going to be at the Boat Sport and Travel Show giving seminars. So we'll have to find that out.
We'll both be there both weekends. I'll be doing the Lake Murray live stream from the event. I'll be doing my Tuesday night live from Matt's house, OEF5. Basically, we're just going to have a good time. We're going to spend some time in the Heartland. You guys come out to the show. They have literally outdone themselves with this Heartland Kayak Fishing Expo. Come check it out. You can demo dang near every boat under the sun right inside where you don't got to worry about falling on ice in Indiana right now. And it's just a great
69 degrees today, if you can believe that crap. And then it's going to freeze as soon as you get here.
It's a killer 69. Show. Just watch out for those Indianapolis potholes, man.
Oh, dude. I'll tell you straight up, like I almost negotiated it in my contract to getting a free alignment when I come back.
It's so bad.
It's so insane.
I stay away from Marion County as much as possible.
I mean, like I'm from the South and I'm from Louisiana. And if we say somebody's got bad roads, that's saying something. So, yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks, Duke. I completely forgot about the bottles. Now I'll be thinking about them when I'm sleeping tonight because, but I got the truck for it, so we're good. I can't imagine what would happen if you get one of those things in a Prius. You'd probably upside down. All right, love you guys. Y'all have a good night.
There's plenty of them up there. All right, later.
All right, good night.
Bye. Oh, good. It's always good to have Chad pop in. It's great to see. I mean, they picked out, I think it was 10 different winners today for January. 10 folks got $50 gift cards. Plus now we've already got a kayak. I'm telling you guys, and thank you again for all the Freedom fam, everybody participating in the Catch 22 and really spreading the word. We got 5,000 last year for Mission 22 this year. Heroes on the Water, something that means something to all of us. But again, we'll be with Chad. The Freedom Squad will be with Chad and Gene at the Boat Sport and Travel Show. But enough of that. We'll be probably coming live from there too, but we'll talk about that some towards maybe the end of the show. Tonight, for those who don't know, and again, Duke, welcome. The Freedom fam, the fishing fam here, we got a mixed bag of all kinds of folks. The channel started a few years ago, kicked off because I had I had a mom. This is fishing where Gramps came from. I had a friend of mine who's a single mom, and she remembered going fishing. Uh-oh, Duke's probably got a call coming in, so I'll wait.
Sorry. That someone.
I told him you probably had a telemarketer coming.
Yeah.
But we got started a couple years ago with basic how-to fishing videos. Had a friend of mine who was a single mom. She loved fishing with her dad when she was little. Didn't remember anything about it, but she knew she loved fishing, has a little boy. And so we started doing basic fishing lessons. Zebco, bobber, worm. And then we basically have built the channel from there, teaching and talking about fishing. And of course, I love being in a kayak as much as, probably I've got a brand new boat sitting in here doing nothing. But, the old towns get a lot more time in that. But we built a family and a community here over the last 3 years. So you have a mixed bag. You have bank anglers, you have grandparents, you have youngsters, just a mixed bag of everything. But the focus this year is to really help people to kind of go to their next level, get off the bank, and maybe, get into a John boat, get into a kayak, get into canoe, just open up that different world. And in doing so, we did a lot of kayak fishing with me and the Freedom Squad, which is my brother Jeremy and my buddy Matt, who streams on Twitch. So the three of us get together. We're 3 Army veterans, and we just try to show what it is we love about this sport. And so obviously, since we do a lot of these, it started with Heroes on the Water tournaments and some of the other charity events where they require catch photo release. And that's why I first found out anything about who Chad Hoover was, what a catch board was, and stuff like that. So over the last year, we really got into the tournament stuff, and again, for charity. So that's where you come in, the catch, the major, everybody. Everybody and their brother loves the Freedom Board because how could you not love, your own little slice of America, right? And so I talk about them often, but then I tell a lot of people if you're bank fishing, that yellow Carbon X, I mean, that's lightweight, easy to throw a bungee cord on and throw it over your shoulder and bank fish or kayak fish, however you want to do it. But it's fun seeing how just, as I look and then I saw your trophies and oh, speaking of trophies, I'm still waiting for a trophy.
You are waiting for I'm assured from the knuckleheads in back that they're actually done, and there's pictures taken of them, but they're waiting for shipping addresses. So I have an
If you need
email
mine,
from Chad, but yeah, no, I mean, I definitely like we got a little behind on like some of that year end stuff last year.
I understand 100%.
But yeah, no, we definitely do have some hardware.
There's room right up here is right where it's actually going to go fit into one of the double yak attack, what you call it, and it's just going to sit in there just like they ride on my boat. But yeah,
Nice.
I'm the 100th guy who didn't, and I'm like, I can't wait. That was my Super Bowl trophy, as you've already heard.
Yeah, no, I mean the awards was kind of like, I mean, it was just that was something weird that just kind of happened, with the business. There were so many people that when we started doing, when we started laser engraving our product, that were, they were like, oh well, could you just turn this into a trophy? And it kind of started out like for a year or a year and a half. It was just, if we were sponsoring a club or something, we just kind of like mess with something and yeah, I mean, it's really evolved. I mean, at this point, I don't know if I can say this, but I mean, at this point, we're actually doing the trophies for KBF, Hobie Bass Open Series, and you can figure out who the third one is. You'll see the trophy,
Bassmaster, baby.
You'll see the trophies in like roughly a month, but
Nice.
so it's kind of grew into its own thing, and it's fun because it's more it's kind of like an artistic thing, I was a musician at one point.
And dude, they look incredible. I mean, I saw some of the ones because I'm actually going to be putting an order in for the knucklehead for Team Gramps for people participating in that, and I've got a couple of different ideas. But just the ones you do, just like with the little, even the smaller, the stand ups, with the engraving like that, they look incredible. But then again, the monsters like you handed our buddy, they handed our buddy Glenn Landstrom for the Temptational. It's just when you see the four and then the big thing on the top. I mean, it's incredible the kind of the work that you do. It's really awesome.
We're having fun now. It's I think any business kind of goes through your like growing pains, right? And like we were fortunate enough, we kind of came in like a like a lightning bolt with there was really a need for a new measurement device. And the cool part is it took us a while and a lot of like headaches to kind of get it all dialed in and get to where we're at, where it's it's the standard device. But we've got like a nice, our business is buoyed with this nice like annuity of sales every year. And what that's giving us now is that we've built all these capabilities. It's all the like, hey, now we can do trophies, and now we can start doing custom parts, and that's the stuff that tickles my fancy, because like the last few weeks have been real fun around here. That's more of what I'd like to be doing. Like constant new product generation is just fun.
So a lot of the people that have been kind of paying attention to us and have watched me, my brother, and our buddies fish, they've seen plenty of, we've shown videos on the catch boards and where you get them. And I noticed it seemed like you had a little Secret Santa sale going off. When you throw something in the cart, it was like 15% off. So I've been telling everybody, hey, there's like a little silent sale for these Ketch Carbon X boards. Go get them now while you can. So that was awesome. But you guys, I mean, it's not just the measurement boards, but you come up with, gizmos to hold the boards, tag holders, just all kinds of cool different parts and pieces. But now, over this last week or so, we've seen some pretty cool product launches. Tell us what you got going on in the kayak customization space.
Well, that's the I think this product will actually be compatible with every Old Town except for the Big Water PDL and the Predator. So, and that was, that was an afternoon that we looked at the parts about 1 in the afternoon yesterday, and we had a functional prototype. We built it on a 1/2 inch at first, and we like scaled it down actually to 3/8 inch. I think is right. It's nice and flush. It looks right. There's enough beef to it for, your heavier duty applications. So,
if you guys don't know what he's talking about. So in the past, if you're kayaking, you might put a little Garmin Striker, 4, maybe a 5-inch Humminbird, LC, real lightweight. Well, I'll just say that some of us have kind of lost our minds when it comes to electronics that we're going to put on a kayak. And they're getting a little bigger. And let alone people who are running 2 of these dang things on the little plastic T-rail that comes on our kayaks. So the product that he's holding there is aluminum machine, aluminum billet, whatever.
Yep.
Strong.
Well, it's, there's for like on our end, we started with, we obviously released a lot of the Hobie products the last week, and that was necessity. So me and, we call him Jake Plates. Actually, Jake Weidenbeck's a guy that works for us. He fishes salmon with me. And so we just named it after him because he was the guy that was testing them. And the big problem was the plastic rails would, you could, like a fish could pull the whole rod holder, like the whole thing out. And especially when you're using something like a dip sea diver that's just generally creating drag already, you don't want to do that with a plastic T-track. And it's not to knock the manufacturers either. There's a reason they put that there. It's because a lot of people are fishing bass. They're not really using a rod holder the same way I am. And the general user isn't also going and putting, a crossbar and mounting 2 10-inch graphs in his boat. That's just kind of more like at the extreme end. And so, we look at it as like, we want to be able to like, build products that respond to that consumer who's like, they're kind of like pushing that ragged edge of like what is possible, what you can do on a kayak. And yeah, I mean, this was like an afternoon's design project, and we actually have them going out to, I'm not sure the dealer. I wish I had Nick right here right now, but there's a dealer that's gonna like mock them up on a bunch of the Old Town stuff, basically the entire lineup, and we'll know the compatibility tomorrow. And then the newext step, we're gonna get a Big Water PDL in the shop hopefully in the next few weeks, and so like we should be able to respond to most of the Old Town line. There's a lot of commonality there, so. This one T-track ends up, that's a top. I think it's going to be a top water 106 and the 120 and the Sportsman, like the whole Sportsman line of essentially. Right. And so it's even some of the canoe, like I don't know what they call the canoe kind of setup. It's got like a saddle in it, but it looks more like it's like a hybrid kind of fishing kayak canoe that also has the same T-track. So
okay.
We're just waiting for confirmation on that, but yeah, I think all that stuff should there's all the commonality will benefit, because it's gonna, instead of like making an individual, like instead of having to redesign everything individually for each different model, all the rod tubes for like all the flush mount rod tubes, those are all the same. A lot of the T-tracks all the same. So again, that commonality means it's not going to take near as much time for us to respond to the Old Town platform as like say like the Hobie. Like we probably it'd take us the rest of the year to kind of respond to all the Hobie products we want to do.
That's going to be really awesome. Any thoughts of even maybe some, I know there's a lot of replacement, but I saw like what you have for the Jake plates for some of the others and stuff. And I guess the cutouts are for maybe scissors and, other tools and whatnot. Any thoughts of maybe customizing something like on the Old Towns where we could have like a little tackle tray or something like that, just for sticking our fish grips or whatever? I'm just thinking now, hey,
we're messing with that area on the autopilot. I think there's like a little neglected area. Like if you look right to the left of your seat, on the right side of your seat, you got that neat little dry box. I think that's kind of a cool little feature, especially if you want to like, have your keys, your cell phone, etc. I think that's a nice little feature right there. But then on the other side, you'll notice that's, there's kind of an empty, shallow area where there's like an additional area where the battery tray kind of exists. And then there's also that, that there's kind of that void right there. So, we were thinking that's another area that we're looking at, on the autopilot. A lot of that stuff's integrated pretty well. We think that we're probably going to make we've been working with Anderson Connector. I don't know if you're an electrical guy, you're aware of Anderson connectors, but we've been actually working with Anderson Connector on a waterproof connector system, and we'll probably do some adaptation to replace the existing the plugs that they have for the motors, for the battery system to the motor. There's basically, like, as there's a jumper that goes from the front to the back, and you got to plug the battery in like underneath your seat. And then the motor plugs in the front of the boat, and those it's not a great connector, and it's really close to the limit. It's about a 50 amp connector, and it's a 2-prong, and it doesn't really seat very well. And so any little bit of resistance and those things will burn out. I don't know if you've had that experience, but that's one of the kind of common failure points. So at some point that'll be a product as well that we introduce for Old Town. And actually, I'll probably be pushing that Anderson product for any of the people that are installing trolling motor systems, because there's really not a great waterproof connector right now. I think the best one on the market right now is the 70 amp Marinco connector, which is, I think it's only IP67. It's what I use on my boat, and I've never had it fail. But they're big, they're really expensive, and they're not near as waterproof as I'd like. But that's kind of on the Old Town, lineup. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at a crossbar on everything. Is like, that's something that people keep bringing up is, can I get a crossbar so I can mount two graphs, or a lot of people use like a Yak Attack switchblade to lower their transducer or something. They're looking for a little more storage right there, right up in the front of the boat, or wherever they're mounting their graphs. So that's something that's we're in the process of doing that. I just kind of haven't figured out how to make it work across everything, but that's why we're starting with the T tracks and the Jake plates and stuff like that. It's like, you got to have that foundation if you want to have a stable camera mount, or your two graphs don't want to be shaking around like Jello. You got to start with at least a solid foundation to mount them on.
So OEF5 is asking, and apparently I have a really bad buzz on my mic, so I'm going to ask you this question, and then I'm going to drop out and come back in to see if that fixes the problem.
No, it's gone. It's gone now.
Is it gone now?
Yeah.
Okay. I just noticed something was picking up the wrong mic, so it wasn't using my mic. All right, so they're all good. No, good. So I muted it, and I've made a change, and I was like, I had no idea it was that bad. So I didn't know the setting had changed on it. So glad to hear that. So let's see, where was it at? OEF was asking, how did you guys figure out the parabolic effects for the boards so that you could build those in to kind of help people, keep from stretching their fish again?
Well, it was, I mean, it's just something that naturally happens. What we found was that, as you started taking product pictures, you really needed to have, if you really wanted a good picture and you wanted the numbers to line up, you really needed to center the camera over the picture. And so it becomes a fail-safe. I think that's what the guy's asking about. It becomes a fail-safe when you're taking the picture. If you see the numbers are all off kilter, it means someone might be manipulating the picture by taking it way close to the front of the board or way back from the tail. Usually that error ends up towards the front of the board where the fence is, because the fence is what yields the better measurement. If you can get the tail to kind of pop up a little bit. There's all sorts of little goofy tricks that people have used over the years to kind of try to.
It's like Liz is saying, it's all physics.
Yeah. It's just I should know what it's called. Oh, it's called visual parallax. It's just when you have two separate things on a different plane, and as soon as you go out of when you go off center, it gets perceptive or like, you know, incrementally worse, and it compounds itself the farther you get. So again, you can tell where because, like, you know, one of the rules that we deal with is the picture needs to be taken directly over the fish, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, and if you're taking it from one direction or another, again, that parallax can make the fish look bigger on the board than it is. And I mean, again, you have to be a little shifty to do stuff like that. I think most of the easy ways to cheat have been kind of, you know,
Yeah. It's
beaten
like
to
I tell
death at
people
this
when they're
point.
first getting used to it, because, you know, you see a lot of people trying to hold their camera over the fish and push the button on their phone or do one of these number. I tell everybody, set up voice commands. So anybody who watches my video, when you see me hold my phone out yelling, shoot, shoot, that's my phone taking the pictures, because I can see the screen enough and then hold it over so I can line everything up. And then I'm not trying with wet fingers to tap the screen or do the double, you know, button on the side. Just set up your voice commands and you'll make your life a whole lot easier when you're trying to get these good photos for uploading to Catch 22. So, you know, a little tip there from Gramps. So, what else do you guys have coming up down the road? Is it all Mopar from now on, or you have any
Yeah, I
other
mean,
spaces that you're wanting to jump into as well?
no, I mean, we're kind of leaning into this. I mean, the initial reception's been awesome. I mean, we've been selling the hell out of the Hobie parts. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it makes dollars and cents. So like, we're just going to lean into it. You know, I mean, we're limited a little bit. You know, I get like messages every day about, can you do this platform or that platform? And, you know, it's not, I mean, we won't be able to answer everybody's questions, right? But like for the really common platforms that are out there, yeah, I mean, the idea is to respond with some, you know, instead of the whole real like backing concept behind it all is like, instead of the one size fits all option, like, let's build a solution just for this boat. And if we can take what we learned, like we're building, you know, we built the Hobie motor, the bow mount system that we're selling for the Hobie Pro Angler, right? That's I can take all of that and apply it to, like, for example, like a Jackson Nar, or you know, or a
My favorite other kayak.
yeah, or an old yeah, sorry, or an old town, you know, like an old town big water PDL or something, you know, like we can take all that and we can kind of apply it. So it's not always a re-engineer, but a lot of it, I think a lot of the products in the space get made kind of haphazardly. They don't get tested. And especially with like a motor mount system, I think it's really important that you do it right, because it's dangerous if you do it wrong. It's
Well, and I think one of the key things that you're hitting on this too, when you talk about the few different colors and stuff that you'll be able to do, we're all dorks when it comes to customizing. So, okay, I have an autopilot. I love the Kayak. What can I do next? Oh, I can put all this other. Oh, wait, I got customized shiny stuff and other, you know, it just gives us another level of creating our own boat and personalizing it to us too.
There's definitely a certain level of, like, it looks cool, like the Hobie hand, the steering handle, right? Like, I actually started doing that for a very practical purpose. Pat Keating, who's a Hobie guy, he's like a buddy of mine that I fish with, lives down in Rockford. He's about 40 minutes from me. And he messaged me and he's like, dude, he's like, I broke a Hobie handle. Like, he's like, you should just make an aluminum one. And I'm like, it's kind of a pain. I'm like, do people really break them? And he's like, yeah, I know some people that have broken them. And that was about all the arm twisting I needed. And then we started messing with it and anodizing them. And I was like, oh, these look cool. And like, then we put a big steering knob on it, and the steering knob is actually really nice. It's a really cool. It's actually, dude, it's a if you've ever been in a machine shop, it's a vice knob. So on the high speed vices, they put these really nice stainless knobs with these Duraplast, like, plastic balls on them. That's what the steering knob is. They're really, really cool.
It's kind of like back in the day for those of us who drove tractors and you know, 50 trucks built in the 50s. They had the knob on the steering wheel.
Oh yeah. It's nice. They're really nice. Like, they're super premium. So but like a certain amount of that for sure. Like there's like people that want to customize. Like I want it to look cool. Like let's face it. Like anglers don't want to admit it, but you guys do want to look cool. Like,
Yeah.
And so
It
there's a
doesn't
certain
matter. Like I
amount of
said,
that
if it's something
to
that
it too.
separates ours a little bit from the next guys, I mean, that's why you see guys wrapping their boats, and it's fun we love tinkering and playing and doing. Yeah, we love fishing, but we want to have our own ride too.
Oh, exactly. Well, messing with your rods and reels and your baits and your boat and your kayak or whatever. I mean, that's just as much of the sport as catching the fish, right? That's a whole, like, other element of it. And then again, from an engineering background, like that's what makes sense to me. That's what I like. And I feel like we got a lot of capabilities around here. We had to build all these capabilities in with to build bump boards, and now I just get to do whatever I want, and we're doing it all in America. So I mean, literally all these parts, they leave the shop to get anodized. That's it. So when the like the Old Town, we'll be selling these Old Town mounts next week. I just got to get the compatibility verification on them, but we'll be selling them in raw aluminum. And again, we can do that because it doesn't leave the shop. As soon as the material, I already have the plate stock sitting in here. I already have the program. It's all done. Like it doesn't, I just got to juggle some machine time. I'm going to work some late nights for the next week, but it's all going to get done. And so that's just fun for me. That's just, and I think it's fun for the market too, because it's like, well, what's he going to do next? What are we going to do next? And that's fun. And I love the suggestions. I love, like, what did you think about doing this with this platform? Or have you thought about this? And so, I'm getting great ideas. We're getting great feedback, and we're starting a discussion, about what would you do if you could, right?
Yeah.
And well, I can, so just, tickle my fancy and we'll do it.
I mean, and that's why and that's why I wanted to talk to you so bad, because it's cool being somebody in the fishing industry, and it's cool. But for me, again, I love hearing about the small American business success stories. We just don't get enough. It seems like we don't get enough wins these days. And to be able to talk to, the folks that are so much in the innovators in our sport, and working with Kayak, for me with Old Town up in Maine, and you guys up in Illinois, and folks that are just just doing it here in the USA, and showing that it can be done, and everybody has something and they can probably go do, and it's just a matter of if guys like you having what it the stones to just go out and start doing it, man.
You just got to, I mean, look at Luther. Yak Attack started because he was doing the real primitive version of the Visi carbon pole. That was like the first, like, that's a big business, man. They're doing great things over there. And
you think, how do you go from a pole to
that guy started
everything in the catalog?
Exactly. He started with a pole with a light on it, a pole with an LED light. You know what I'm saying? And like that's, but again, it's, it takes those people that are willing to just like push it. Like, it started as a pole for him. For me, it was,
and he's going to be somebody I target to get and come on to, just to tell the story. Cause I love hearing how these, how companies like yours start, going from an idea to getting there,
We just me and my business partner just needed an excuse to go fishing. He had 3 kids at the time. He wasn't actually ever married, but he was engaged, and that kind of fell apart. But I was married, and I had my first kid on the way, and we were just trying to protect our fishing. We were like, we need to build a fishing product. This becomes a business exercise. If we can just build fishing products, we got to go do a certain amount of fishing to market our products,
Of course.
Honey,
we got to go to a show.
Yeah. And so that's like kind of how it started out. And then I talked to Chad, and when he approved the bump board, then I was like, oh, well, shit, this is kind of a business.
This is real.
And And then it was like, like 3 years of catch up, just kind of like trying to like, get our business to where it should have been to be where it was, essentially. So, and then once we got there, like, that's where we're at right now. Now we're at like, okay, what am I going to do next? Well, until we find out some next great, awesome thing, or we go in some different direction, I'm just going to keep making aftermarket parts until people stop buying them,
Yeah. So enough about business. You're a fisherman at heart. What do you like to fish for, and where do you like to fish? How do you like to catch them?
Man, I'm boring like that. I love big water, and I love trolling. That's just that's kind of what I like doing. If it like salmon, trout, muskie, walleye are probably like kind of high on my list. I do enjoy fishing smallmouth, and I'm not a very good bass fisherman at all. Like
Right.
any of my buddies will tell you, I'm not a very good bass fisherman. But you know, I'm like a true multi-species guy. I don't really I don't get like too into tournament fishing. The only type of tournament fishing I take at all semi seriously is musky fishing. Um, and me and Eric are coming off an absolutely dog shit year in the PMTT last year, so I don't even know if I'm allowed to call myself a musky fisherman anymore. But yeah, I like it all. I like, you were talking about, hey, a part of this channel is like, Zebco push buttons, and like, dude, I got two kids. They got Zebco micro 33s and ugly
Yep.
sticks, and we float any sort of cold cut cheese. We catch bass on all sorts of charcuterie or dug up worms or whatever. So I'm not I'll do it. I'm like anyway, any anyhow. I don't really care, just fishing's fishing, like being on the water and enjoying it in any fashion.
A figurator.
I'm like the last guy to like to show you how to get one on a figure eight either, because the like a lot of the musky guys will swear by it, and I'm one. I find like absolutely no use for it. I have more of a bass like kind of like mentality. Like I'd rather rethrow and then try to catch them. I think you spook them off figure eighting a lot of times when you could just pull the bait out and just pitch it back out and run it back in. And
Right.
difference of opinion.
Oh yeah. Said Duke is like a guy from Gas Monkey drinking his Miller Lite.
It's usually hams. They ran out of hams, man. I'm not technically a Miller Lite
that's what
drinker.
Chad was saying. You're a hams fisherman.
Yeah. No, I'm a hams fisherman for sure. They were running light at the liquor store, so we're doing the Miller Lite tonight. And don't do never compare me to Richard Rawlings. That dude seems like a scumbag.
Oh man. So I was going to ask, when you're out, do you prefer kayak over boat? Do you care?
For sure.
Or is kayak your...
If I walked in back right now, I'm actually going to walk to go get a Coors now that someone brought up the,
there we go.
Miller Lite
Mix
thing.
it up. Show some diversity.
But there's I've got a Lund Pro V 21 footer in the back, and it gets like between me, we actually made it a business asset this year. Because my business partner also had a Lund that he wasn't using, and between the two of us, we put about 16 days of use on the boat. And even in a down year on the kayak, I probably still had like 80 or 100 days out on the kayak this year. Yeah. So I prefer the kayak for sure over the boat when I can, but I do fish a lot of big water, and so there's just sometimes if it's snotty out on Lake Michigan, I'd rather be on the boat. I err on the side of caution. I don't like I won't go out there if I think I'm going to end up in the water, or if there's a chance that I'm going to end up in the water. So that's like the times that I opt for a boat. But I'll still enjoy fishing from the bank. And truthfully, like if I had my way about it, the first thing I would do would be like a mix of floating with a kayak and then wading and then wet wading. Like I really enjoy that style of fishing. I used to spend a lot of time in Wyoming and Colorado fishing trout, and a lot of times just no kayak, but I like the wet wading. I like kind of that exploration fishing. We do a lot of strip mine fishing in Illinois. That's what I love about strip mines is there's always seems to be something new, some little new nook and cranny you can get into, and it's fun stuff.
I've got some of those probably 90 minutes from me over towards Linton and Sullivan, and it's amazing to me how when the water gets clear, it's like you can see down. It seems like 100 feet, and it's like holy. But yeah, I mean, I love fishing the strip mines around here. But I mean, funny thing about Southern Indiana is we have literally like well our state in the whole we have like every kind of fishing there is. We have bigger lakes, we have pits, we have mines, we have rivers. I mean, it's nuts. You can be doing something completely different every time you go out. But it's like when you're talking about the boat. It's like I've got a low fishing machine and I bet I've had that out like 5 times. It's like once I got sucked back into just pure kayak, you know, just what I prefer to do. You know, it's just easy in and out, fun, getting to hang out with a lot of different people. But you know, I have the boat for when my sons show up and my granddaughters get a little bigger, and you know we can go out and do some of that grampy time.
Well, it's maintenance. The maintenance thing's a big thing. You beat the snot out of your kayak, and you're going to do almost no maintenance to it. I mean, and like that's not happening with the boat.
No,
Like so that's the other thing, and I think I just enjoy the experience more. Like I like equate it to like my friends that are hunters. I'm always like listen, you know how when you like decided you wanted to bow hunt and you're done with a rifle.
yep,
That's what kayak fishing is for regular fishing. It's
yep,
like, but like truthfully now with the technology, it's getting even easier. I feel like I feel like there's a lot of places that we can get that boats can't. And I just
yep.
think the experience of catching the fish is like so much, it's so much more fun on a kayak than almost anything, especially like a big fish. When a big fish drags you around on a kayak, that's just, if that doesn't put a smile on your face, you ain't got a pulse,
Oh yeah,
man.
especially if you're just in a little short, paddle, and just. I had a friend of mine. We were fishing. I think it was first tournament of last year. Actually, it had to be late March, maybe early April. But he was in a small paddle kayak and just comes up on the bridge in front of me and just nails into this 5 pounder, and this bass is just pulling him around in circles, and he's just sitting there smiling, just spinning in circles like he was getting ready to go down a drain. And then finally he wore the fish out, and it was like, holy cow. And it was like Mr. GoPro over here had packed everything away to move to another spot on the lake, didn't have a single camera on him, but that would have been the coolest thing, just watching him circle around.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun, man. I think the kayak is really getting people off the bank, and allowing them to have like that boat experience without the. I mean, it's expensive to own a boat, man.
It is.
It's
I
just
mean, you think
brutal.
about with a kayak, you can, if you got a pickup truck or even a small car, I know people that car top or whatever, but even, just throwing it in the back of a pickup truck and, you're not running, $100 in gas, and
Yep.
it gets expensive. I mean,
You
it's
buy
funny
you
because I
buy
talk about, I want to clear my garage out for the kayak stuff because I got a Harley and a boat in there that since I really, really got back into kayak fishing, both of them are just sitting there. It's just like, what do I? You're just taking up space that I could have my kayak trailer in there. I could be playing right now.
Well, and I mean, and realistically, if you go buy you can buy a used American-made kayak. You can be for under $2,000. You can be tournament ready with a nice rig that you can put on the top of your car that you'll do
Yep.
almost no maintenance to, and then the bass boat guys will be like, oh, don't you think you want a boat? Well, no, I want this thing because like I'm gonna beat the hell out of it all year, and I'm like I'll replace maybe a screw or like maybe
Yeah. You see
I'll lose
those
a rod
pads
holder
right
going
there in
down the
that
road or
cove
something.
that you can't get into because it's so shallow. Watch me sit in there.
Yeah, and the affordability of it, I think, is huge. It's bringing a whole new generation of people out on the water, and that's always a good thing. Sometimes not always a good thing because they're sitting in our fishing spots. But ultimately, if we want the sport to grow and we want more people to pay attention, we gotta. Those are some of the necessary growing pains. I feel.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But it's a blast. I mean, I love, love, love kayak fishing, and like I said, I really, really hope to bring a lot of content, a lot of videos to people just of this year. Just even if I'm fishing in a tournament, it'll be more about like like you were talking about earlier. It's like yeah, it might be, your day is you and the fish. The tournament is just a side piece of it. I'm out there to be outside, to be hanging out with friends, to be chasing them little green and brown boogers just for the pure joy of it.
That's exactly the right attitude. And,
Yep.
I don't know if you could tell by looking at me, but I used to be a golf professional. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when
You're like, who
you were a
hired this
John
guy to
Daly
teach
fan, I
golf?
get it.
No, but I used to tell people the same thing about golf, and it's just like, if it's not fun and it's not your, don't do it anymore. Like you just gotta you gotta enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, like if fishing tournaments is not enjoyable and you just want to go fish, then just go fish. There's a lot more to fishing than just fishing tournaments. I just think that the tournament scene ends up being a good mechanism to meet like-minded people that are also like into the sport.
Yes,
Like
definitely.
they've got boats or they've got kayaks and they know some spots. They're bringing something to the relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. We got beer, we got water. We'll be here all day. Don't worry about it. Hell yeah. All right, my good man. I try to keep these two around an hour. Plus, I got to work tomorrow, and my work's just another adventure, and it's in itself waiting to happen. I'm so looking forward to warmer weather so I can get out and go hang out with cool people too. But hopefully, I get up to your guys' place one of these days. I'd love to come up and do like a tour and see the shop and see the spot. You're not that far from me at all. If I wasn't busy at work this week, I would take some time off and come up with them yahoos. But you got enough on your plate with them goobers coming up. So, but I want to get up there one of these days just to kind of see the operation. That'd be fun. It'd be fun to do. But again, if you're ever down this way, hanging out with the guys at Moving Waters or anywhere down here, coming down to see the grubby guys, whatever, we'll definitely have to get on the water somewhere and just chase some smallies. Be a good time, I'm sure.
Absolutely, man. Anytime you're in town, just let me know. You got an open door here.
No, I appreciate it, man. All right, good sir. I will give you back your night. I thank you again. I can't wait to hang that green, beautiful thing right up in here. Because for me, like I told you, that's my Super Bowl trophy. If I don't win a thing else in the world, that for me was just the most awesome thing too. And thank you for doing that for those guys and all the rest of everybody that does that. But that for me was, like I said, that's my, I can't wait. I tell you, I really can't wait.
Well, brother, it's been appreciate you having me on tonight.
Oh yeah, I love hearing stories. I love hearing stories like this too. But I will let you get out of here and have the rest of your evening. I will close up with these family of knuckleheads and fishing fam, and then might have to see. I don't know if we're gonna go live on Friday night, folks. We'll have to see what the Freedom Squad's doing because we're getting ready, like I said, to do this whole boat show thing. So if we get a Freedom Squad live in Friday night, it'll be an extra treat, but just may depend on what's going on. So, Duke, again, thank you, sir. For the rest of everybody out there, thank you for coming, hanging out with us on a Wednesday night. Again, I'm working to try to bring you just the coolest people in the fishing industry that I can find and talk to, and again, get these American success stories going because that's what we're about. We're about supporting these small biz. Till next time, get outside when you can. Make some memories, one cast at a time.